Final 15 minutes of regulation, but they want more. That's all they want. They don't want to go home. They don't care about the rain. Utah State on their home field on homecoming weekend and dominating Weber State. Marshall on second and just plugging his way along. Right, power play. And it helped to have his offensive lineman pushing him from behind. That didn't hurt either.
Perfect example of what we've been talking about all night with Utah State. Power offensive line, power running backs, dragging defenders 5, 7, 8 yards down the field.
Marshall looking for more. He'll be denied this time, but he gets it down to the 1. But you pointed it out after the first, second series. You saw it right away. When they get a first down, they go faster. There's a quick cadence, and they're on the line. Second and goal now. It'll be Marshall. 1-yard touchdown run. Flag on the field. I don't think it's celebration this time. So let's see what happened on that side of the line.
Holding, offense, number 33. 10-yard penalty, second down.
That is the first penalty of the night that's not been for celebration for Utah State. That's how good and clean it's been.
Tight end Jefferson Court coming into the game, wants to be aggressive, wants to make his block, got a little bit too much jersey there. I think Marshall would have scored no matter what Court did on the play, but let's see Utah State now. Backed up to the 12-yard line. Can they execute? Can they punch this thing in? Weber State, try to get a stop.
It'll be second and goal. Marshall weaving his way out of the backfield. And again, battling inside the 5 down to the 4. Tough running, tough inside running. The 6', 220-pound senior from Dallas. And making the most of his opportunity behind DiMartino and Hill. And DiMartino's had a serious night tonight. 8 carries, 105 yards, and 3 scores.
Coach Wells has to be excited now to truly have that 3-headed monster in the backfield moving forward for the Aggies.
Third and goal. And Marshall will not get away. Weber State got the big play from Jalen Ames. Defensive lineman.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, replay third down.
That was a dead ball foul, otherwise it'd be declined. So it's going to be third and goal and mark it off. I'm surprised they didn't look over.
That penalty is declined, brings up fourth down.
That's why I'm surprised that when they didn't look over to the bench, it's not a dead ball foul, so it is declined now. It'll be fourth and goal.
Some of the mistakes you will start to see from backups being in the game. The fact of the matter is starters get most of the reps. It's one of the hardest things about being a young football player, not getting the reps that the veterans get. But fourth and goal here, get a stop, Weber State. We're going to see Craig Harrison get to execute. I got to have it play. I imagine they'll still keep the ball on the ground.
2 tight ends set. He's rolling to the side of the 2 tight ends. And won't get there on fourth and goal. Will be denied at the 2. Glad didn't bring out the place kicking unit, though.
Harrison takes off, does not get in. And for Weber State, there's your first victory of the night, your first morale builder. Try to put another play together. Your offense comes on the field here, Chipoletti. We've seen him get a little bit more comfortable. They're going to have to go 98 yards. We've seen them cross midfield once or twice tonight, but go 98 yards, and that'll give you some confidence no matter who's on the other side of the field.
They just put it on the ground. And there have not been many turnovers tonight. And not many penalties for either side either. In fact, Weber State, despite all the struggles, they've only got 2 flags tonight. So from the 2, Booker got out of the end zone barely. They almost had him at the goal line. His last lunge got him to the 1. Now that's how good the penetration has been. Baldemaro, the linebacker, sophomore from Hawaii, finished the play off. Boy, what a frustrating night. 70-7 last week for Jody Sears' squad. Now 70-0. And like I said to you at halftime, what do you say to your team? 2.5 minutes gone by in the fourth. Booker turned around after taking the shot. Still kept going, didn't he? Jeremy Morris, the first one to hit him. So it's going to be a 3rd and 3 at the 9. Carries, just about 3 a crack for Booker tonight. It has been that difficult. They don't have 100 yards of offense, do they? Yeah, 104 now. Man on the misdirection. Man, the naked one. Outside goes Chipoletti, and he's got the first down to the 14. Well, we've said he shows good wheels, and you brought up the fact that it's very similar to what he did in high school. The system.
And that helps him. And you see there, that's a zone read. He's making the right decision, pulling that ball, getting the first down. Now try to put back-to-back first downs together, drive the football. You got a long way to go, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it dinking and dunking. You got to try to take some shots down the field.
It's on to their 5th first down of the night. Again, outstanding penetration up front. And he didn't get credit for the tackle, but the big lug was Travis Seafelt in the backfield out of Sun City, Arizona. Yeah, he was popping it up the middle and forced him wide.
There's that defensive line in the 3-4 again. And Seafeld, no matter who it is, up front, they're going to try to two-gap. And two-gapping means you control that offensive lineman on both sides and you allow your linebackers to run and make plays. It's what makes this 3-4 defense go.
And he's not in the 2 deep. That gives you an idea how Utah State is and the health of their system now, that he's the 3rd defensive tackle at that position. The hit on the completion as it's out for Weber State's Heimuli. We talked about the 2nd worst loss in school history last week at 70-7. The worst, 1980. It's been that tough a night. 3rd down and 2. And Chipoletti close. He got it. He's across the 23. Hollis over there on the stop. So they won the first game by 10. That's the positive. But they're not over for the season at least.
And for Chipoletti right there, he very easily can hand that ball off and just say, you know what, 70-0, let's just get out of here. But pulls it and goes head on into 2 linebackers, fights for that extra yard. This is, as a young player, this is when you can really gain some respect. I know you say it's 70-0, but your teammates are watching how you react. And quarterbacks, the number one thing that defines you is how you handle adversity, and there's no bigger adversity than being down 70-0 in the rain at Utah State. He's showing his teammates something, no doubt about it, by continuing to battle each and every snap.
Took a wide snap there. Those fastball outside and still got it to Booker. They've had some bad snaps tonight, most of them high ones.
Fundamentals. Obviously, as you're building a program, those are the things that you have to instill first. Snaps, tackling, catching the football, all those things you need to work on so that they happen without thinking about it, because those lapses are what's really costing Weber State tonight.
Booker down across the 25, short gain, maybe the 26, 27. And this is the hardest it has rained tonight. It is just a real steady downpour now. You valeted your car, I take it.
I'm parked right next to you. We're both making the run right after this one.
Coming down in buckets. 3rd and long. Good read by the big guy. Boy, he would have been dancing. Alafua with a defensive end. True freshman out of San Leandro, the Bay Area, Oakland area.
He's a guy that showed up a lot on the Air Force tape from a week ago. Talks about the depth. I mean, they go into Air Force Mountain West opener, and Alifua was on the field making plays for the Aggies. So even in a 70-0 game, you still have playmaking players out there, and that just goes to show you what Coach Wells has built here at Utah State. A lot of depth, a lot of talent on this roster.
Epperson has been getting low snaps again, takes them to the short hop. And you talked about the little things, the details, and Natson's taken down by his own man on the play. Is that DiMartino out there? That was tough. Otherwise, it's been a perfect night for Utah State. They're up just 70-0. Over for Utah State, their third of the night, as they get it back deep in their own territory. Yeah, the 28. Welcome back once again, Joel Myers, Kevin O'Connell, and a deep group of quarterbacks, as it turns out, this year in the Mountain West.
Maybe one of the more underrated conferences as far as quarterback play goes. Brett Smith at Wyoming has been great. They won again today against Northern Illinois. We've talked about Chucky Keaton since the start. Derek Carr, David Fales, both these guys on the NFL scouts' radars as potential high draft picks. They've been very, very good early on in this season. We didn't even mention Joe Southwick at Boise State, who played very well against Air Force last night. Very deep conference, and these guys are going to make their teams competitive each and every week. No question about it.
Spinning outside, the running back on the play is Kennedy Williams at 5'8", a true freshman from Las Vegas. His first carry of the night. Obi Owo gets in on the stop. A little more than 8 minutes to play. So, very strong year overall for the Mountain West Conference, especially when you look. We've seen Chucky Keaton, what a level he's playing at already in only the third game.
And all these guys are playing in spread, up-tempo offenses. They're going to put up huge yards. What separates them is what they do in the critical situations. And I know in this Northern Division, Chucky Keaton is my pick to be the player of the year in the Mountain Division of the Mountain West, just because he's going to be in games where he's going to carry this football team. We coming into the game tonight before the explosion from these running backs, he led the team in rushing. He had a career day a week ago, 32 completions and 5 touchdowns. He's a guy that when the ball's in his hand, the team feels great about it, but he's so confident he's going to make the right play every single time, and he normally does.
Big quarterback in there now, Jeff Manning at 6'4". Made a miss initially, now goes down on the third and about 4. He's right at the marker. Please don't say we need a measurement in a driving rainstorm. In a 70-0 game. No. It's going to be 4th and short. So 7 minutes to play. But boy, the depth displayed by Utah State, it bodes well for the overall Mountain West Conference.
And think about going to USC next week, a team that one of the biggest criticisms of them right now is the lack of depth from the NCAA violations that they're overcoming there. Lane Kiffin under a lot of fire there. Do they have a quarterback to play? I wonder, because that quarterback, whoever takes the field for the Trojans next week, is going to be going up against a defense that is going to try to make a ton of plays, and their veteran linebacking core. Going to be really, really interesting to see how that game goes next week.
You got the 4th down and the indecision on where they go at the quarterback position.
Week 4, a receiver, week 4 or 5, a receiver like Marquise Lee, you've got to just pick a guy, because what the indecision is, it's running down your whole roster, and you have guys that are showing up not knowing how the game's going to go, and we've never seen USC operate like that.
Manning kept it himself. He played his high school ball. This has got to be a dream come true for him, though, for down the road purposes, because he figures in the equation down the road. He's a big guy, can throw it well, 6'4", 210, and he played at Logan High School.
Growing up, this is obviously where he wanted to go play, where he decided to go play. Very similar to myself. I grew up in San Diego and didn't think to go anywhere else besides San Diego State. And on homecoming, I'm sure he's got a bunch of family here. He doesn't care about the rain, the wind. He's out on the field executing, and these reps will help him down the road, no question.
Again, it's Kennedy Williams. Good name, I like that. He slams it ahead to the 44. It'll be 2nd. Make it 3rd now at about 5. His brother Kerwin, an All-American running back here. When we're talking about Kennedy Williams, Kerwin, an All-American here at Utah State. So now 3rd, a little more than 5. Kerwin, of course, playing for the Colts in Indianapolis with Andrew Luck. One of the better young teams in the NFL as the AFC South has gotten better. Houston, a good team, great team actually. Couldn't go to the Super Bowl, but Indy's getting better, and so is Tennessee.
It's been a lot of fun to watch Andrew Luck early on. A lot of people wondered that pro offense at Stanford, would it translate? From day one, he's looked like he's been in complete control, and he's moving himself right up the quarterback rankings in the NFL each and every week.
It'll be the second punt of the night for Bentrude. And taking it inside the 20 by Marcial. We'll come right back. Final timeout with 4:17 to play. That is the definition of loyalty. On a comfortable night in Logan, Utah, because we're in an enclosed booth. I feel for those guys down there because it's been a steady downpour, chilly conditions, and new quarterback in. It's Jadrian Clark, the redshirt freshman from Lakeland, Florida, with a good zone option read. He won't forget his first snap that he took, will he?
No, he will not, and he's obviously a guy now who knows how long Adomchek will be out. You imagine he could start seeing some time. Coach Sears likes to use two quarterbacks normally, get these guys some repetition, but good first play. Zone read, pulls that ball out, picks up a first down.
Got the first down out to the 33. So let's see, and he's a much taller quarterback than we just saw, by 4 or 5 inches. Working with Booker. And that was set up to fail. You can see that coming. Going outside, Jeremy Morris was waiting for it. You got a feel for the target on that side for Weber State, Eddie Hall.
Anytime you're going to throw those quick screens, those outlet passes like that, we've seen on the other side, Chucky Keaton, he's very accurate with those footballs. You got to put it right on him. You make those guys reach at all, and the defender's going to have time to react and put a solid hit on him like we just saw Jeremy Morris do.
Clark on 2nd and 10. And another good read because of the penetration in the backfield on the running back. There's no way in the world he could give it to Kellen Copeland, freshman from Boise. This is a big guy out of Lakeland, Florida. So let's see if there's big stuff for 17.
Are you surprised how many guys from Florida are on both these teams? I mean, it's like they have a pipeline recruiting on both sides of the ball to get Florida athletes here. I mean, we all know about the athletic players that come out of Florida.
Wide of the intended target, well behind the guy he was going for, Hey Mooney. So 1 first down and a punt coming up. So 2-1 record now for Utah State with Chucky Keaton going back. Or check that. Double numbers. They'll do it to you every time. McMillan will go back. Will he even get it? Yep. Didn't call for the fair catch. And out of bounds. Ooh, late hit on the left pass. So it was picked up. Getting sloppy at the end of the game. And it was paid for. So tack on 15 from the point of the foul at about the 29. Well, we come back as Utah State will run it out. Gets it back for what should be the final series of the contest. USC, we've been talking about it, and back-to-back road games coming up at San Jose State. And then BYU has struggled early this year. They get them here in Aggieland. That'll be entertaining.
These next 4 weeks, starting off next week at USC, then at San Jose State, home for BYU and Boise State, will define this Aggie team's season. They have a chance to beat Boise State, have 2 byes still left in the lighter part of their schedule. They could wrap up, for all purposes aside, they could wrap up the Mountain Division of the Mountain West by October 12th if they continue to handle their business. So
you're pretty optimistic.
I feel really good about this Utah State football team. Watching them on tape, their execution level is off the charts. They're fundamentally sound, but they've recruited some big-time playmakers that make the fundamentals and the skill sets. They put up a lot of points. They can stop you on defense, and they don't make mistakes on special teams. So this team, it's going to take a very good football team to, first of all, come into Utah State and beat them. But on the road, this veteran team is going to play very, very well on the road.
2:05 and counting. And you just talked about the Floridians on both these rosters. Now there's a nice move by Kelvin Lee, another guy out of Florida. Boy, some speed. Young man from Daytona.
You wonder where they find these guys. You got to give a lot of credit to this coaching staff to be able to develop some of these diamonds in the rough, because you know Florida and Florida State and Miami, they're not going to let these guys get out of the state. So obviously they're guys that are under the radar. They get them here on campus, they develop them, and that's where this depth comes from.
Another first down, the 28th of the night. Nothing over to the left side that time. And you know, you talk about Miami, you talk about Florida State and Florida. Don't forget, the largest student population is Central Florida now in Orlando, and their program has really come up.
Absolutely. Florida, California, Texas, those three schools, if you can recruit in-state here in Utah, but then go out and get the guys from those three states, Ohio as well, you're getting really good football players that play at a competitive level year-round growing up in those states.
The snap right over Manning. And look out for the shutout. Picked up, going the other way. And a touchdown for Utah State. Or Weber State, rather. Their defense has to do it. And they finally get some points. It's Spencer Unga, the linebacker from Ogden.
High snap. We've seen a lot of snap issues with the wet football here tonight, but once that thing gets on the ground, who knows who's going to come up with that thing. Good job by Unga picking up the wet football and finishing it off. Weber State gets on the board here. Under a minute to go. It looks like it's going to be a very similar score to what it was a week ago at Utah. But you know what? That might be the one clip that Coach Sears shows to his football team tomorrow.
Well, they won't get the 70-7 because it was blocked.
The ultimate jinx right there. I knew it. I should have waited, but I apologize, Weber State. All apologies. 70-6. It looks like we're going to finish at, but Unga makes a play. Wet football, picks it up, takes it the distance.
So the true freshman place kicker, Carson Fackrell, had it tipped at the line of scrimmage. Man, it's 70-6. I was going to say, what are the odds on back-to-back 70-7? We don't have to worry anymore. So at least they're on the board. And now, final seconds with 50 seconds remaining. Rain still coming down, but not like it was when it was belting these guys about 30 minutes ago. So Unga, you can tell he's a former running back. He knew what to do with it as soon as he got it.
Not easy to scoop and score on a wet night like this. Finds the end zone. The lone positive for this Weber State team tonight, but not exactly what we hoped for. We hoped for this Weber State team to show up and make this thing a competitive football game, but Utah State's got a complete squad. And as they move forward, they're going to be a team to watch, especially on the national level. They've got national talent in Chucky Keaton, and they've got a football team here that's going to be very, very tough to beat.
Kennedy Williams bringing it out with some room. And out of bounds in front of his own fans past the 40. So a good return. So the seconds and thirds relishing this opportunity.
And I'll be seeing you again next week. We'll be down in Memphis. I imagine we'll get a very competitive game. Hopefully, Arkansas State, big win last night on ESPN. look forward to working with you. Had fun tonight. Not exactly what we thought. We got the enclosed booth. That was the one thing. We're not wet. We're not out in the rain. But
we weren't on the roof.
We weren't on the roof.
Could have been a difficult night. 42 seconds to play. One snap, and it is over. So it's going to be, this is the 14th meeting between these two teams. It'll be 13-1, the record for Utah State. And that'll do it. They don't have to take it to the snap. It's all over. And it's the first home win for Matt Wells, an alum, a quarterback. 94, 95, 96 here at Utah State. And in his first game as the head coach of his alma mater, it's a victory. Homecoming weekend. Won't forget that either. So Kevin, good chance, good matchup. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Utah State holds up at USC next week.
Watching them on tape coming into this game, I expected to see the complete team effort, and that's exactly what we saw. They dominated both lines of scrimmage. The quarterback play from Keaton was as advertised, and the special teams obviously were very consistent, able to make some plays there as well. USC better be ready because there's a very good football team from Logan, Utah coming to the Coliseum next week. I'm going to keep a close eye on that score all weekend.
We'll do it from Gus's Fried Chicken Shack in Memphis.
There you go. Looking forward to it, partner.
I enjoyed it tonight, Kevin. For Kevin O'Connell, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us in Logan. 70-6, the final domination by Utah State. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Thanks for watching in Logan. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long, everybody. Have a great weekend.